minutes to go in normal time. Liverpool 3-0. Corner taken quickly, Origi! Yeah!
Hello and welcome to the Redscast podcast. The Reds have actually bought someone, and we're going to be speaking about the West Ham game as well, where the Reds are back again scoring goals. Building up to the Brighton game as well tomorrow evening. It is going to be a good one, let me tell you that. I'm your host Matty, joined this week as always by Ste. How are we doing?
Afternoon. Buzzing, to be honest.
Buzzing with the results or buzzing with the fact that Liverpool bought someone?
The fact that they bought someone doesn't concern me that much, but the fact that they're playing well and they're winning. I haven't had a buzz off a match like that for a while.
We were dominant, weren't we? Absolutely dominant. 68% possession, 14 shots, 5 on target, 6 off target. Better numbers than what we've seen in recent weeks. We had 3 big chances. We were just absolutely clinical. Probably 2 goals of the season contenders in there as well.
Do you know what? They were all just beautiful goals in their own right, weren't they?
Yeah,
all 3 of them.
I mean, when the lineup got announced, it turned a few heads, didn't it? We played in a 4-3-1-2 with Shaqiri just behind Divock and Salah. Divock didn't have his best game again for Liverpool, which I was very surprised that he stayed and Minamino's gone. But we'll touch on the transfers after the West Ham game. But do you know what? I can't fault anyone who played in that game at all.
No.
Even Nat Phillips, when he was announced to be playing, I was like, I just didn't know. Even though we had a good 45 minutes against Spurs, with West Ham, because they've been so in form, I just had this feeling that he'd be the one, who made that mistake, and he was faultless, wasn't
he? A lot of them, as I say, I can't. Even like you say, Divock didn't have his best game, but he contributed.
Yeah, and
talking about the team, like that Wijnaldum goal, I've watched that about 15 times on loop. Like, how many, was it 35 passes or something?
35 passes from.
I've watched that a few times. Like, the only 2 players on the pitch that didn't touch the ball in that build-up were Alisson and Curtis Jones. Every other single player had at least 1 or 2 touches in that build-up.
It was a perfect team goal, really, wasn't it?
It was lovely.
To me, I said it to you when the match was on, Curtis Jones changed the game for me. Now, I know I'm a massive Curtis Jones fan, but when Milner came off, obviously he was fuming, which I thought was funny, and then he turned it around. But Curtis Jones came on, instant impact, getting the assist for the first goal.
Yeah.
And I just feel as though having someone who's not afraid to run and just create something, it just completely changed the dynamics of the game, didn't it?
Definitely. So it was absolute instant impact, and I absolutely love to see that from Milner on the sidelines. And you say he was fuming, like, you see he wasn't happy. What made me more happy about it was, like, say if that's Salah or Mane coming off. Yeah. I don't mean to pick on them too, but it's just because I've seen them do it in the past. And they get a cob on, and they throw the towel on the floor, and they go and sit down and in a big huff. I can't see either of them having a laugh with Klopp in that situation the way Milner did.
No, he just come back and was like, yeah, you're right, Gaffer, aren't you?
Yeah. what do I know? I'm just a footballer, like.
Yeah, he was I'd say he was half disappointing in that game, Milner. It's probably one of the worst.
No, I wouldn't even say disappointing. I think he just ticked along. There was no, like, I think they were all minimum 7 out of 10s.
Yeah, but I think you had to pinpoint, I think it was the right change to bring Jones on for Milner, because
absolutely at that time, yeah.
Out of that midfield, Gini has been an absolute boss in the holding role, which is exciting because we're going to need someone to step into it, given the massive news that came out yesterday. But it was just, to me, Curtis Jones is what a player. Like, to be 20 years of age he is now and come on and completely change a game for the champions, it just shows how confident he is, and that he just oozes class, doesn't he?
He does. As I've said this before a few times, for a kid, he looks absolutely where he should be. He doesn't look out of place. He doesn't look scared of the opposition. He's not going hiding in big games. When he's on that pitch, he's showing for the ball. He's passing the ball. He never lets you down. Well, all right. He's not perfect yet, but for a 20-year-old kid, he's nigh on perfect. Like,
yeah, I think he's only going to improve and be better and better as years come on. Like he's learning from the likes of Thiago Alcantara. Do you know what I mean? Like you're learning from arguably one of the best midfielders to play the game. I mean, and he learned when he was younger off Stevie in the academy when Stevie was the manager there. And then obviously if Stevie does come back in the next few years to be our manager, he's then going to learn off Stevie again. So he's only going to keep improving his game. The type of people
you would hope he doesn't reach a sort of a plateau on his ability, because some players peak early and they get to 20 and then they don't progress. I can't see that with Curtis, but you never know.
I can't see it myself. I
can't see it. Like, you see it there's a possibility there it could happen. Nico Williams might be reaching a level where maybe he'll improve, maybe he'll stay where he is. You just don't know. But with Curtis Jones, you can just see him flying. Anything can happen.
Yeah, because he broke into the team around a similar age Stevie didn't he? What was Stevie, 17? I can't remember now. But you can just see... when I watched Curtis Jones, I can see how much he looked up to Gerrard as a kid, because not even just the fact he's took the number 17, and we all know when Naby Keita eventually goes, that number 8 Curtis Jones. But
it's a style of play, isn't it?
Yeah, not scared of a tackle. He's skillful. He can just control the game, and to see that coming through, I've just got that buzz, because I feel as though when we had Carragher and Gerrard, we haven't had that since, and now I feel as though we've got Trent and Curtis coming through, and that's the next lot coming out of the academy, who probably will represent Liverpool for the rest of their lives, which is exciting. Hopefully. And then obviously we've still got, although he's not a product of our academy because we got him from Fulham, we still got Harvey Elliott to come back, who he's been unbelievable in he's made the Championship look easy, and it's probably one of the hardest leagues in the world.
Yeah, he's been brilliant for Blackburn, and they must be so... I mean, do you know what? It's a great move for all involved, that one, because Blackburn have got a little gem there of a player. He's getting game time. He's getting his name on the headlines. And, ultimately Liverpool have got a player there who's developing massively.
Yeah, he's... The way he plays, it's... I was watching the DFL show the other day on Sky, and they were analysing him and his passes. He's so creative all over the pitch, and he's like a workhorse. So it's exciting to see that coming back in. I mean, obviously his pathway into the first team is obstructed a little bit at the minute with Salah. But I've been thinking about it, and I'm at the level now where I feel as though I don't want Mbappe. I'd rather get Haaland in and keep hold of Salah and Mane, and then in a few years maybe Elliott take over. Yeah.
I say it's going to be devastating to lose any of them front three, to be honest with you. And we pick the bones out of it probably every other week about which one we want to lose. I don't want to lose any of them. And no matter which one you pick, someone's going to disagree with you, because everyone's got the favourite, regardless of what numbers they're bringing in and whatever. But we just can't keep that same front three. I don't think they're all going to be there next season, and it devastates me. But devastates me to a point up until I see who's coming in to replace them, and then I'll make my mind up how sad I am.
I don't think any of them will go, to be honest with you. Like Bobby seems to have found his feet again. Apparently Jota's going to be back any time now. Maybe the City game. Who knows? I don't know if that... He was rumoured to be back.
He hasn't trained, has he?
Well, we don't know, because we don't know what Jürgen's... He's come out today and said Van Dijk's out for the season, but apparently he's back towards the end of the season. He doesn't like to have pressure, but no one really asks about Jota in the press conferences, because it's just, when's Van Dijk back, Jürgen?
Yes.
So, but I don't know, I just got this feeling, maybe he might be back. Maybe just after the City game then, because there was always talk that when he first got injured, he'd be back at the start of February. Now we're in the start of February, so...
Yeah.
So who knows, but... In the West Ham game, I'd said before it that Ben Rama was a decent player for them. I forgot he was even on the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, and that was down to the way we played. We barely gave them a sniff. I think they had one opportunity in the first half where Antonio put it wide. Other than that, I can't even remember any clear-cut chances that they had. I don't remember Alisson particularly making any saves or them having any dangerous attacks against us. So literally that one chance for Antonio where he put it wide is the only thing where they worried us.
Yeah, and even their goal, like, I think it was just a bit of a consolation where the Reds had switched off and they won the game. But another stat we can look at is crosses. We only attempted 13 in this game as well. So that's United in the FA Cup, Spurs, and now West Ham. We've attempted under 20 crosses in the game. The games before them, we were attempting 40, 50 crosses a game.
Yeah.
Something tactically has definitely changed at Liverpool, hasn't it?
It has. Obviously, the coaching staff and Jurgen see all the statistics that we see, and obviously they're the ones who are better at analysing it and how to deal with it, and they've done that. Because when we weren't winning, that was a massive issue for everyone that could see all them crosses going in for nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've I don't know what they've done, but I like it.
Well, even the results all went in our favour this week, didn't they? Like, Leicester got beat by Leeds. We could go above them. Tottenham lost again to Brighton, which is interesting. United drew. Obviously, Everton lost. So we're now 5 points clear of fifth, which is, considering a couple of weeks ago, we could have ended the weekend. I think it was in eighth. Both times Everton have had to go above us. They failed, which is beautiful to see. But I do think Everton will improve massively with Josh King coming in. I think that is a really, really good buy, to be fair. It
is, and I'm fuming at you over that, by the way.
In the know, Matty, about that. But yeah, we're only a point behind United now, which, when you think, well, they beat us the other day, if they would have beat us the other day, they would have went 6 points clear. And now we're only a point behind them. So,
yeah, I mean, I said this a few weeks ago. Like, it's one of them mad seasons where two weeks later, give it 2 more weeks' time, we could be top of the league. We could be 7th. You just don't know what the hell's going to happen.
I think we'll be top of the league on Sunday. When do we play City? Sunday? I think we'll be top on Sunday.
They're 4 points ahead of us with a game in hand, aren't they? So, that don't...
Well, they play Burnley tomorrow.
Right. Oh, they won't have another game before we play them then, will they?
No, but Burnley are going to win them tomorrow.
I'm laughing, I am laughing, but I hope you're right.
Well, Burnley have found a bit of form weekly, haven't they? To be fair to them.
A bit hit and miss, aren't they? They've got a few points under the belt.
I know they got beat by Chelsea, but do you know what? In that game, Chelsea weren't that good. It was a Marcus Alonso wonder strike and Aspilicueta. But I don't think they were that good, and Burnley seemed to be City's bogey team. In like they aren't City against small opposition in last season and this season. City have never really been. It's almost as though they're going there, like what we did against Aston Villa, where we turned up thinking the game was won, and it wasn't. Yeah. I just think there's more twists to it, and if Burnley do us a favour, like we kick off 8:15 tomorrow, City at 6 o'clock. If Burnley do us a favour, we could be going into this game against Brighton with the potential to be 1 point behind City going into them on Sunday, which is mad. Even if
it's bonkers.
Even if they only get a draw, City, and we beat Brighton, we can go top of the league again on Sunday.
By beating City, yeah. I mean, that's like I keep saying it. This season is just going to be completely bananas. We just don't know what's going to happen.
We're looking at the rest of the season. Obviously, we know why Jurgen Klopp went all out for 2 centre-backs now, don't we?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, they've done well there keeping that Matip injury quiet, because if that news comes out before we buy them 2 players, I think their fees double, at least.
Maybe not Ben Davis's because his contract is nearly up, but I think we wouldn't have got a loan for Ozan Kabak. I think it would have been a simple, you're buying them or you don't have them.
Yeah, because we lose our bargaining chip there. We was absolutely stunk of desperation.
Have you seen the actual fee we've only paid $2 million, total for the 2 of them? It's
another Edwards masterclass, isn't it?
Yeah, and
like, the guy's a genius.
I'm excited by them, really excited. Like, Ozan Kabak's a really good defender. I'll get on to him in a minute, but Ben Davis, I like the story behind it. Similar to Robertson, who had to like work his way to the top. I like that. It's a good motivation for kids in a sense of like, if you get released from an academy, like Robbo got released by Celtic, you can still make it at the biggest level. And then Ben Davies has been at Preston his whole career. He's been out on loan to like lower league teams, and he probably never ever imagined himself to be playing for the champions of England, or the best, biggest and best club in England, even statistically now. We are the most successful club in the country, and I don't think he would have ever thought that he'd be playing for us. And I'm excited to see what he can do. It's like he's going to come with that bit between his teeth, I think, in a sense of people aren't going to think I'm that good, and he's going to want to prove people wrong.
Yeah. Do you know what'll be interesting about this kid?
What?
Is if Klopp puts him in the Champions League squad, because he's already said that Van Dijk is going in the Champions League squad just in case, which I absolutely am okay with.
Yeah, because he said this morning, Annie Van Dijk's out for the season, but then put him in the Champions League squad. So it's like, he's not out for the season, Jürgen. Don't be telling me that.
So it'll be interesting to see if he puts. I'm sure he'll put that Kabak in.
Yeah,
he's probably the more experienced and the more ready to.
Well, Kabak's
to dip his toe in the first team. Like
Kabak's a right-sided centre half, so I think he's going to be the one who gets more games anyway. It's ultimately a try before you buy with him. I'm really, really excited about Kabak. Really excited. I love seeing a Turkish player in the Prem. Obviously, I've got ties to Turkey and stuff, and I just love seeing him. He's a good talent. I think people are judging him in a sense of saying like, "Oh, Schalke have been awful this season. He doesn't. He should. Like, why are we going to get him?" And when you play,
is this the fella that we were linked to in the summer?
Yeah,
the same fella. Yeah.
Schalke have been poor, but then I think that's an unfair judgment because when you look at say Weston McKennie, Schalke were poor last year. Weston McKennie went to Juventus, and Weston McKennie has been unbelievable for Juventus this season. So if you're playing with bad players, ultimately there's only so much a defence can do if your attack's not scoring goals. Look at Liverpool in recent weeks. We were getting draws and getting beat because our attack weren't scoring goals. So there's only so much a defensive line can do. He's an exciting player. He's a bit like Suarez in the sense of he can be a bit of a nightmare. But that I like seeing now at Liverpool. I like seeing someone who's got that bit of fire in them who will win at all costs. And he's been playing professional football. I know, like, obviously you could argue that Ben Davies has been playing professional football, but I mean top level professional football since he was 17, because he played at Galatasaray when he was 17. Galatasaray are, in my opinion,
arguably the biggest team in Turkey, aren't they?
I don't know. Fenerbahce and Besiktas are bigger than them, but they're one of the top three teams in Turkey. And then he's a Turkish international. And then obviously he's went from Galatasaray, he went to Stuttgart in the Bundesliga. That's again a massive team, like 50,000 seater stadiums. You're playing in front of 50,000 fans, crazy fans as well. Then he's went to Schalke. Davy Wagner's given him a glowing review saying he's going to be a captain of a football team one day. He's only 20. Don't forget, Steve. He is a real talent, and people are writing him off, and your Turkish Twitter yesterday, oh my God, people were writing him off.
Who on earth is writing him off? They've never seen him kick a ball out.
There was fans on Twitter yesterday dubious of him, and you should have seen some of the Turkish fans tweeting him back, going mad. Because with Turkey, obviously their league isn't a good standard. They've got Fenerbahce, Besiktas, Galatasaray, Istanbul, Başakşehir, and Trabzonspor, who are there or thereabouts every year, but then the rest of it, like Alanyaspor and stuff like that, they're all terrible. So when one of their own goes and plays in the big leagues, they get behind them massively, and Turkish love Liverpool. They absolutely love us. Ever since, say, like 2005, that final, because obviously they all watched it because it was in their country, and then they just all fell in love with Liverpool. Like when you walk around Turkey and they hear you're a Scouser, they just love you. They just give you so much respect. And the fact that I remember when Nuri Şahin signed for us, you should have seen they were going mad. They were all made up. So this is ultimately what they feel as though is their poster boy. This is the one who Turkey believe is unbelievable. I mean, Sentosun came to England and was terrible, ultimately. But they call Kabak Pasha, which means Kabak the King. Like similar, they used to call Sentosa Tosin Pasha, which is Sentosa the King, but the one new they call that now, their poster boy is Ozan Kabak, and he's a real talent. And as people I've spoke to over there saying he's better than Soyuncu.
Okay.
So if you're getting somewhat Soyuncu, I would have took him at the Reds. So if you're getting someone better than that, who's got the talent to become arguably one of the best Turkish internationals of all time, he's going to be good. And the try before you buy, I just think it's because Liverpool are being careful with the money. I genuinely think we're going to buy him, especially with the news on Massa.
Yeah, and getting back to saying, is the team are performing well? You can't judge a player on how the team are playing. Look, the players we've got in the past who've come from relegated teams. Gini Wijnaldum, we got off Newcastle when they were relegated. Andy Robertson, we got off Hull when they were relegated. And I'm sure we
got Joe Gomez from League One.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he was younger when we got him, but we still got him from League One and developed him. I hope Van Dijk is back at some point this season, because Kabak's idol is Van Dijk, and to train next to him is going to be phenomenal. I mean, just having Van Dijk around Melwood and being in the midst of it, and let's not forget Kabak's gone from playing up against in training players at Schalke who can't score a goal to training with Mo Salah, Mane, Firmino, Jota, Thiago, all coming at him in training. That's instantly going to make you a better player. If you're training with the best front three in world football, arguably, you're going to improve every day. Same with Ben Davies.
Especially if you've got the best defender in the world to learn from while you're there.
How would you roll with it then? I mean, they're both eligible for this game on Wednesday against Brighton. I'm in two minds. I mean, we know Fabinho is out for it, which I'm not bothered about. I'd rather him be ready for City. But Ben Davies is a left-sided centre-back and Kabak's a right-sided centre-back. So my thinking is that Klopp wants to make them a centre-back partnership for the rest of the season.
Not
for you?
No, not for me. I actually think Davis will barely get a game this year. I think he's going to do the same with him that he did with Andy Robertson. Yeah, he's going to give him time to bed in. If any of them are going to get in the first team, it'll be Kabak, and that won't be straight away for me. I still think it'll be Phillips and Henderson tomorrow.
I don't know. I've got this with Davis. He's 25. It's a no-brainer signing, really, because everyone who I've spoke to the past few days, like Preston fan sites for Transfer Room, they say he's one of the best players they've ever seen in a Preston shirt at centre half. He's arguably one of the best defenders in the Championship. His stats are amazing. Now, obviously, the Premier League's a different kettle of fish, but they think so highly of him. They're saying we got him for a fifth of his value. Do you reckon they could have got 10, 15 million for him if his contract wasn't up? So I think with Liverpool, it's more like, if it doesn't work out, we'll sell him for like 5-6 million to someone. Yeah. Say like Sheffield United or someone like that. Someone who needs a centre half. But I think he goes in against Brighton myself. He is only a temporary.
I'll put it to you a different way. Do you think Phillips deserves to be dropped?
For Brighton, yeah.
Really?
In a sense of, not based on form. Nat Phillips has got no pace. Neil Maupay is rapid. Aaron Connolly is rapid. You need someone who's got a bit of pace in them, and he's not unbelievably fast, Ben Davies, but he glides across the pitch. When I've been watching highlights now of him, and his ball distribution is phenomenal. It's real good. Considering he's a Championship player, it's really good, his distribution. I think he only failed, I think, about 15, 16 passes this season, and he's attempted like 90 long ball passes. And I feel as though if you're putting Henderson and Nat Phillips, that was a perfect partnership for West Ham because the height. Brighton haven't got height, Brighton have got pace, and Brighton play a very, very similar system to that of Liverpool. So they have Maupay and Connolly, they play very similar to like Firmino, so sometimes Maupay will drop into between the lines, Connolly will drag the defenders out of position, then he'll put the ball over the top and Maupay will just burst onto it. So I feel like putting Nat Phillips in that game, it wouldn't do his confidence any good, because I don't think he'd have the best of games. He's not fast. He just isn't. He's a monster in the air, don't get me wrong. He's an absolute monster. But Brighton haven't got any tall players, really, other than Dan Burn. And you're only going to get him up on corners and set pieces and stuff. Other than that, he plays down like as a left wing back. So I don't really believe that we need Nat Phillips in this game. I feel as though we need someone a bit faster. Personally, I'd start Henderson and Kabak, because Kabak's got pace.
Mm-hmm. Do you think either of them have been in the club long enough to be starting a game? Like they signed yesterday, we're playing tomorrow. Is that enough time to even learn everyone at the club's name? You know what I mean? Let alone how we play, where to stand, where to run.
No,
the basic
in
stuff.
An ideal situation, no. But then Liverpool are in an ideal situation. Like Matip's out for the season, Gomez is out for the season, Van Dijk, according to Klopp's, out for the season. Fabinho's injured for this game, so you're left with them two and Nat Phillips. I think Reece Williams will go. I think it's been confirmed he's going back down to the 23s to replace Van den Berg's space because he went to Preston. Mm-hmm. I don't believe we'd go and buy them if they weren't going to get played straight away.
Straight away is, I mean, I would say, within a week or two.
Yeah, but then the games after this,
days.
We've got Man City on Sunday, then Leicester after that. If anything, you'd rather play them in this so you can get a feel for the Premier League if you're City. Because I do think the City game you'll probably have Kabak and Fabinho, but in this game, Brighton arguably could go down to the Championship standard. Yeah. But and don't forget, Ben Davies has played games like Maupay and now in the past when Maupay was at Brentford. Aaron Connolly was on loan in the Championship 2 seasons ago. So Ben Davies would have played against them. Kabak's an international footballer. He's going to be decent enough. Whether they both start, if Klopp goes bold, because they've been bought ultimately to play together. So if Klopp goes bold, he might start a pair of them tomorrow. They're both eligible. Or you might start Henderson and Davis and then put Henderson into midfield and bring someone off to put Kabak on that.
Maybe. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I'm not doubting their quality because, first of all, I don't do that with Liverpool players most of the time. Second of all, I haven't seen enough of them. Like, all my issue is, I just think 2 days is too soon.
But don't forget, Liverpool would have been preparing for Brighton from yesterday. So Davis signed Sunday. So he would have been straight in that training session preparing for Brighton. Monday, Tuesday session, play on Wednesday. Granted, they haven't been at the club long enough, but if it's just one of them, I don't think we've got any other choice. I wouldn't put Henderson.
No, but the thing is, we actually have. It's not an ideal choice, but we have got that choice of Henderson and
it's suicidal. It's suicidal. They're so on it. Neil Maupay is as fast as Mo Salah. Honestly. Yeah. All they need to do, Brighton aren't soft. Don't forget, Adam Lallana knows Liverpool system. They aren't soft. They know. They'll watch that Spurs game and West Ham and see how high we press and see a ball over the top could work. The difference with Brighton to Spurs and West Ham is Brighton have got. I mean, I know Spurs have fast players with like Son and Bale and stuff, but Brighton are going to be buzzing. They've just come off the back of beating Spurs. Massive 3 points for them. Huge. Now they're coming to play Liverpool, the Premier League champions. Everyone who comes up against us this year have got that bit between their teeth where they're like, we just want to beat them. I just think a ball over the top. Nat Phillips is a monster in the air, so if he's going to win everything in the air that goes over the top, fair play, try to play him. But I just think we just need a bit of pace in that back line.
Can you imagine him playing the both new lads at centre-back? Imagine the absolute chaos. Imagine, like, they might have a bit more pace than Henderson and Phillips.
I don't think he'll play both of them.
No.
I think it'll be Henderson and Davis, because Davis has played in the English game. So I think it'll be Henderson and Davis. I think Kabak will play City though. I think it'll be Fabinho and Kabak for City.
That'll be our 874th centre-back pair in the season, won't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather Davis get a game tomorrow than against City, to be honest. I think that game's too big. And Kabak's a lot faster than Davis, so I'd rather play him and Fabinho, because then Fabinho can talk Kabak through the game, and maybe have Henderson in the holding role to help them. Where tomorrow, I feel as though having Henderson next to Davis will help him. It'll massively help him, and just that add a bit of pace. At the end of the day, he's as tall as Nat Phillips, and he's as good in the air as Nat Phillips, so you're not really...
Is he that big, yeah?
he's 6'1", 6'2", something like that. But his aerial duels, he's won like 70-80% of them in the Championship this season. He's good in the air. Both of them are really good in the air. Kabak doesn't get beat in the air. He just doesn't. But that again, Brighton, it's not bothered about the aerial threat because, like I said, they've only really got Dan Burn, who's aerially sound, in my opinion. And I don't think they'll get forward that much. I feel as though this game massively relies on Basuma and Thiago. Keeping Basuma quiet, we'll win the game because he is world class.
Yeah, I mean, if he's one of them players where you would say if Brighton went down, he'd be off.
I even think if
he's
they
too
stay
good
up
for the Championship.
Yeah, I even think if they stay up, he'd go. He's too good for Brighton. He could get into a top 6 team. I think he'd be a massive signing for someone like Spurs or Everton, or even Chelsea. To be honest, I think he'd add things to Chelsea. I would love him at Liverpool, but we've already got a player in Thiago like that. I mean, he's a younger version. It'd be amazing to get him in to learn off Thiago, but I just can't see him coming in and sitting on the bench to learn. But he's quality. He's so good. He could play in the Champions League. He's that good, and he probably will.
You've done a lot of research on Brighton this week, haven't you?
Too much research on Brighton this week.
You're coming up with all these players, and I'm like, ew.
No, honestly, like Basuma, he's unbelievable. When you watch the game, you'll see he picks out the passes on the wings. So like, like Van Dijk used to be Salah or Mane just pinging them across the pitch. Basuma's like that. But then if that pass isn't there, he's not scared to run. He's got pace. And if he gets to, like, say, do you know the area in which Gerrard used to shoot like 35, 40 yards out?
Yeah.
If Basuma catches one right, he has got an absolute peach of a right foot, an absolute peach of one. Like,
it's just a shame that he's not going to see the ball tomorrow.
That's what, if we keep him quiet, we win the game. I think that's how important he is for that Brighton team. I think Lallana will start for them because it's just one of them. It's playing against Liverpool. It's
yeah. I mean, for me, Brighton, they've got a few decent players there, but it's another one like West Ham. I've never really been worried when we're coming up to playing Brighton.
I like them. I like how they play football. I like Graham Potter as a manager, but I'm not worried at all. It feels as though we found our feet again. Yeah. I think Mane will probably be back. I think you'll probably see us maybe rest Salah in this game now.
Yeah, with City coming up, I would.
Yeah, with Bobby getting a rest. Bobby got a rest
Yeah.
against West Ham, and obviously Mane had broke his toe. Mane may not even be back for the City game, which brings me on to how mad is it to let Takumi Minamino go out on loan? It's sensible, but mad.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with that one myself.
After hearing Klopp's comments today, it's changed my perception on it a little bit more, with him saying they did want an option to buy and it got refused. He basically said he's got 17 games to go to play the rest of the season. If he stays fit, he'll probably play every game for Southampton. Maybe he's going to learn a partnership with Danny Ings to see if he comes back in the summer. But do you know what? It makes sense in the sense of Ralph Hasenhüttl is from the Red Bull model. That's where he's learned his trade. So Southampton play very similar to how Red Bull, Salzburg, Leipzig, New York Red Bulls, all the teams they've got within this football model, they play very similar. And Ralph Ragnar has been the one who's like instituted that across the board. And Hasenhüttl's come from that. So Minamino, the only other team he could have really went to, I personally think would have been someone like Leipzig. To play in that system, because we play very similar with the Gegenpress and the high line. It's the same model that Red Bull imply. So if he goes there and plays 17 games, it goes one of two ways. He plays terrible and we bin him off. He plays unbelievable, he comes back in and fights for his place and gets in the team. Or he plays unbelievable and we sell him for about 20 mil and we've made stupid money on him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, as I say, for me, it was the right move. People are saying, "Oh, why haven't we sent Origi out on loan?" For me, like, Origi's done. I know he's getting played every now and again, but for me, Origi and Liverpool are done.
I think he'll go in the summer.
What?
I think he'll go in the summer.
Yeah, Minamino's still got a chance, although he's not getting a game. So the only way he's got of at the minute for this season, the only way he's got to revive in his career at Liverpool is to go out on loan, show what he can do, and like prove to Jurgen, prove to the fans. Because there's still plenty of fans out there, isn't there, that are like, what even is he? Show us what you are, show us what you can do.
I mean, I've got a lot of time for Takuma Minamino from that game. He's arguably one of the best people I've seen come to Anfield and play against us.
Yeah,
he was so good, so good for Salzburg. He bullied us. He ultimately, and we just haven't seen that at Liverpool yet. But I just would have kept hold of him, to be honest.
Just to see Ashley fume every week if he ever got a game, like.
Loads of Liverpool fans don't like him because when he's played, he's been bad against the Aston Villa's kids. He was terrible.
Yeah.
But then he's only going to get better.
So a lot of them.
Yeah, the whole team was terrible for the first half. So I don't know. I think Origi will probably go in the summer because that Owoni is going to get a work permit finally. He's going to get his international cap at some point this year for Nigeria. You know, the one who we've loaned to Union Berlin. Yeah. And he's very similar to Origi. But he's probably better. I was looking at him and I was speaking to a few people about him, and he's been bossing it at Union Berlin this year. You know, like he's a good talent.
Well, similar to Origi, when you first said that, I raised a little eyebrow. So we don't need anyone similar to Divock Origi. There's only one Divock Origi. Thank Christ for that. But if you're saying he's better, then I'll have a bit of that.
I don't think he's unbelievably better. I don't think he's going to come in and start every week, but apparently, like, he's got the motivation. He's very similar to, say, Haaland, who's got the motivation to be the best in the world. And I'm not comparing him to Haaland because he's nowhere near Haaland's level. But I just think Origi, I think we could even include him in a deal for Haaland in the summer. Which may seem mad, but Haaland's release clause is this summer. So he's going regardless. He's got a 70 mil release clause. Somebody is paying 70 million for Erling Haaland.
Yeah. I wouldn't put Divock Origi in a deal for anyone. I'd just do the deal and then sell him separately.
I think if we value him, Edwards wants about 25 mil for him, and he's just not worth that much money.
No.
So if you said to, like, Dortmund, we'll give you 55 million in Origi for Haaland, and they say, yeah, you've got Origi off and you've got Erling Haaland coming in, so
yeah, you wouldn't argue with that.
I think this summer's a big summer for Liverpool, a massive summer. I think that, did you look at the rumours about that Celtic car from Marseille?
He was the other defender that was meant to be coming, wasn't he?
I think he was one of the summer targets, apparently. We were going to try and get in early. We would have got him if they had found cover, which they couldn't do. I think he'll be someone we bring in the summer. Obviously, there's the worry about if Gomez will play at this level again. It's never. People are saying, he's going to come back soon, but it's whether that tendon heals properly. After listening to a podcast where a physio had said he's never seen an injury that bad in his life, and at one time he could be treating 10 ACL injuries. He might never play this level again, and I think that's why Kabak's coming, because Van Dijk's the left-sided centre-half. So the fact that we've went and got someone of Kabak's stature, in a sense of he's going to cost 18-something million at the end of the season if we want him. That right-sided centre-half for me is telling me that Klopp's he's actively looking for the replacement.
Yeah. I think Matip.
I think he's done.
As much as he's done, as much as I love him, like
it's sad, isn't it? It's so
you
sad.
You can't have a player in your squad who maybe plays 2 games a month if you're lucky.
It is sad. He is a good cover, but then when he plays, when he plays and when he's fit, he's arguably one of the best centre halves in the world.
Yeah,
he's so good. He's so good, and we bought him knowing he was injury prone. That's the ultimate conclusion. Yeah. So we knew he was injury prone. He was injury prone at Schalke as well. But he was never bought.
Was he a free, or we got him really cheap?
No, we got him for free. His contract was up, but he was injury prone at Schalke, and ultimately he was bought as the cover. He was bought as the cover for Van Dijk and Gomez. He can play either side of the back too. But I just feel as though he's done now. I feel maybe we're going to probably go and either buy Kabak if he impresses, or go and get that Celtic car in the summer, and then Gomez will ultimately probably be the backup. But I don't know. I'm excited, to be honest, to see what's next for Liverpool. I'm excited to see if Klopp goes bold and throws these two together and says, like, you've got till the end of the season to make a partnership. Like, because ultimately, one thing you got to think about is Kabak has to impress if he wants to stay at Liverpool. He's not going to want to go back to Schalke. They're probably going to get relegated. I mean, they've got Socrates and Mustafi at the back now. Schalke, they're definitely going down. I mean,
I don't want that much pressure on a player to have to perform. Because that can send their head west. That can force them into making rash decisions and going for balls they shouldn't go to. And
don't you think it's the perfect situation for him now? Because he's going to put that pressure on himself to be like, I want to impress. I want to stay at Liverpool. This is my chance. This is my break. And there's no fans there. There's no fans there to get on his back if he does play a bad game. If he plays a bad game, the players aren't going to slag him off in the game. There's no fans there to like say be like swearing at him and go mad in the game. So I feel as though it's the perfect opportunity.
I never thought of that. You could be right there. I think as long as he turns off all the social media accounts, just finish them off now.
He ain't got to worry. He's got the whole of Turkey backing him. Honestly, honest to God, like some of the replies to people about Kabak yesterday were mad. And I was laughing at them because I can understand very basic Turkish, and some of I can understand a lot of the swear words, for example. And they were going mad, proper mad. But I'm buzzing for it. He's just a typical Turk, and
I'm happy. Do you know what? Any new player comes in, and I'm happy, and I'm excited to see them play. And I always hope and wish for the best for any player that comes into us. I want them to succeed because that means we succeed.
I'd just throw them both in against Brighton.
I don't think I could handle that myself. Like,
yeah, here's your chance. But Brighton have been crap this year.
Oh, I know, but I don't know. No, it's just giving me anxiety even thinking about throwing two brand new centre backs.
Doesn't it make you feel better knowing that we could potentially have a proper defenders in the back, put Henderson, Holden with Gini and Thiago a bit more advanced?
In 10 days' time, 2 weeks' time, yeah, absolutely.
If you're not ready now, you're not ready in 10 days. I mean, Robbo, I know, obviously had 6 months, and now Fabinho had near a year before he broke into the team, but this is different. Do you know what I mean?
You probably don't even know where they're living yet, and you're throwing them in a centre-back together. Like,
I know where they're living. We live on the docks by a Costco, so where they'll pull the players till they get out. But Ben Davies will probably stay where he is, to be honest. Preston's only an hour away.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's another good thing, really. Like, he's a northern lad. Do you know what I mean? Like,
is he local? Like, is he from there?
He's from Barrow and Furness.
Right, okay, yeah, that's northwest. Yeah.
Apparently, he doesn't like Scousers because a few Everton fans dug up an old tweet. But I can put me life on it.
He can change his mind, can't he?
Everyone changes their mind. Everyone hates Scousers till they come here, and then they're like, "What a city!" But I'd throw them both in. Because you can't play them both against City, that's suicidal. Playing them both against Leicester is Vardy's back, suicidal. Playing them both against Brighton, Maupay's only scored 7 goals this season, and 3 of them were from the penalty spot.
You've just been describing him like Messi, the other, like a
no, he's fast. He's fast, and that's the risk. He's fast, and you've got to keep him quiet. But then he hasn't been on it this. Brighton haven't been on it this season. They're like Sheffield United in a sense of they were good last year. Maupay was unbelievable last year, but they've just fizzled out this year. Maybe it's through signings because you're bringing Adam Lallana in who's finished basically, and it's not going to give the team much hope. He's not going to dislodge someone like Basuma. Do you know what I mean?
Is that Lamptey still playing at right back as well for them? Because I remember he was
I'd have him.
Quite impressive first couple of times I've seen him.
Well, Southampton apparently bid for Neco Williams, didn't they, yesterday? I would have let him go. And
they got sold to Lego.
I think at the end of this season we'd probably sell Nico and could maybe go in for Lamptey, but then that'd be a good buy. Because he could not replace, but with Costas, for example, he's played in the Champions League. He's a phenomenal left back, so he's made Robbo play better. If you bring someone like Tarek Lamptey in, who is good enough to play in the Premier League week in, week out, it's going to make
quality.
It's going to worry Trent, isn't it?
It is. It's quality competition, which is what you need in every position. Like, you want a player on the bench who is as good as, if not better than you, because you then raise your performance to make sure you're on that team sheet next week, don't you?
Yeah.
I think they all welcome competition in the squad.
Yeah, they do. Look how much better the front three played when Jota came in. I can't wait for him to be back, though. You know what? If he's back for City,
goes.
I'm going to throw something out for you now. I don't think Liverpool are going to get beat again this season. I think we're going to win every game. The last 17 games, I think we're going to win them all. Touch wood.
Under normal circumstances, I would probably agree with you. But as I've said a couple of weeks back, this season is not done and dusted. Nothing's decided. I don't think there's going to be one single team who's going to go on a run of major wins or even major defeats. It's going to be all over the place till the end.
Before the Tottenham game, I was saying to Cam, when he said we're going to win the league, I said we're not. Them two results have made me believe again, you know.
And that's the how fickle we are and how
I feel as though now,
fragile points are in the league.
I feel as though the league's going to start to separate again. When you look like we're 5 points off West Ham, for example, in fifth. Are they fifth? Yeah.
So do you think that top four is going to like break away from the rest now?
Yeah, so West Ham are 5 or 4 points off the top four now. I feel as they're going to start break. The only exception might be United, if they have a good European run, might fizzle off, but I feel as though they're going to get beat by Sociedad anyway because they're flying in the Liga and David Silva's been an absolute baller over there. So I don't really know. But I don't think the top four is going to completely fade away from everyone because I think Arsenal could get back up there. Odegaard is a phenomenal signing for them. Really, really good. He could get them back into the top four, but I think Liverpool and City will stretch apart now from others. I think it's going to be like it has been in previous seasons because United haven't got an easy run in the neck. They've got Southampton tonight. So Takumi Minamino is going to score an hat-trick.
I hope so. It's another one of them. Like, do you think he'll play him this soon?
Yeah.
Probably getting off the bench or something, score a hat-trick.
Let's be honest, he's going to Southampton and Liverpool are a lot more intensive in training than Southampton. So I think he could go in and play for them. He's a good option for them to have as well. But they play Southampton today. So even if Southampton are capable, they're due a win. Do you know what I mean? They were flying to start the season. They are due a win. They are capable of getting points off United. So if they get points off United, then we're going to go to third tomorrow on 43 points and we're 2 points above United. And I just feel as though us and City will just run away with it now this year. I'm sure though City... this is why I think we'll win the league again, because I'm sure City have got a hard run of games, you know.
It's honestly like...
They've got Burnley tomorrow. And then they've got us. And then they play Tottenham. And then they play Arsenal. And then in between the Champions League games, they've got West Ham, United, Fulham. Then they play Wolves, Leicester, Leeds. So they haven't got an easy neck. We've got a hard run of games ourselves, but City have got to play us, Tottenham, Arsenal, United in the next, before basically the end of Feb or the start of March to play United. I just think the league's ours. I think people are saying it's City's to lose. I think it's ours to lose.
I don't know. Like, whoever's top of the league currently are the current favourites, aren't they?
Yeah, like, but I would put money on Liverpool to win it again now. I would. I just don't think City are that good anymore. John Stones is being unbelievable this year, but he's only one bad game away from being crap again.
That's it. You're only as good as your last game, aren't you?
Yeah, and we know he can be terrible. Look, Luke Shaw has been looking good at United. Do you know what I mean? It says it all, but I just think... I think toward... Maybe not tomorrow, but I think in a few games we will probably see Davis and Kabak like with each other. That puts Fabinho back into the six.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah, and once he's there, he's covering them as well, and defensively, if they do make mistakes, he's been playing central defensive for most of the season. So in his mind, he's a defender at the minute. So he's still going to have that defensive mindset. He's also going to be spraying balls back up.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that makes me sad is if you start them two, Fabinho has to play Holden, has to play the six.
Yeah.
Thiago has to play the advanced role.
Yeah.
And I feel as though Henderson has to play because when he doesn't play, we get beat. But then I don't want to drop Gini because Gini's been world class. So,
yeah, you've got games coming thick and fast. We've got a game every 3-4 days, I think, from now until the end of the season. So you're going to have to rotate. You've got Champions League games coming up. They're all going to get a go. I don't think any of them are worried about that.
Do you think that we should have bought another centre half?
Another centre half?
Yeah, add 3. With Matty being out for the season.
No.
And Van Dijk.
No.
What happens if one of them gets injured? We're back to playing Fabinho centre half.
Well, all right. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with Fabinho playing centre half. I'm also more than okay with him playing. I'm more than okay with him playing centre mid.
You say that right. The minute you see Fabinho play that holding midfield role again, you won't want him back in centre half. Nobody will.
Oh yeah. I mean, given the choice, I want him in centre mid, but I'm more than okay with him having to, fill in at the back because he's world class there as well.
It's just world class, isn't he? But yeah, hit me with the your line up then for Brighton.
Okay. So it'll be Alisson, Trent, Phillips, Henderson, Robertson, Wijnaldum, Thiago, Shaq. Then Salah, Bobby, Divock.
What score?
3-0.
I'm going to go with Alisson, Robbo, Henderson, Davis. No, Alisson, Trent, Henderson, Davis, Tsimikas, Genie, Jones, Thiago, Shaq, Bobby, Salah.
Yeah.
I think Tsimikas, Robbo hasn't had a rest this season.
No.
It's a decent game to throw Tsimikas in, really, Brighton.
I reckon Klopp will come up with another absolute madness of a lineup. Like, no one expected them to put that team out like he did against West Ham.
No.
So
I wouldn't mind having Henderson back. It's play centre half, though. He's been decent. I think he could probably go back there, towards the end of his career. I think he's capable.
I don't know. People used to say that about Steven Gerrard, the older he got.
But Gerrard is... you couldn't put Steven Gerrard centre back ever. People who said that, I used to just laugh at them. It was like, you can't take... even if he's got no legs, you can't take Steven Gerrard out of that midfield. You just can't do it. I was listening to Joey Barton on the Robbie Fowler podcast last night, and he was saying, like, Henderson will be regarded as one of the best ever Liverpool captains, but he's not Steven Gerrard. And then, like Robbie was saying, but nobody is Steven Gerrard. Steven Gerrard, fact, is the greatest midfielder of the English history. He's the greatest English midfielder of all time. Fact, and I'll fight anyone for that. He's better than Hoddle, better than Scholes, better than Lampard. Who else has played there?
I mean, all these players you're naming may have better single attributes in certain areas, but as a complete midfielder, you just can't get near Gerrard.
Yeah, he's the best there is, best he'll ever be. And I'm going to go 6-0 tomorrow. I think we're going to absolutely dominate them. I think Mo Salah's back in form, Bobby's back in form, Shaq has been unbelievable when he's came in.
That ball for the goal, by the way, that cross was just...
Yeah, I love Shaq, I'm so happy to see him getting a go. I really do like him. I think he's a phenomenal footballer. I'm buzzing to see him getting a chance. And obviously any other season he probably wouldn't have got a chance because he wouldn't have gone into the midfield because we wouldn't have had to be playing for Fabinho and Henderson there. So, and I think he's better in centre mid than he was on the wing. Yeah,
for sure, yeah. He's more creative, he gets on the ball more, doesn't he?
Yeah, as that 10, he was brilliant against West Ham. That's why I think we start him again as a 10. Because I don't think he's going to start against City. I think if Mane's injury is meant to be minor, but I don't think they risk him for Brighton. With that game on Sunday.
Not with City coming up now.
Yeah, it's too big of a game. So Shaq, Bobby and Salah. Maybe drop Salah to give him a rest. But I feel like with Mo Salah, once he's scoring, your best thing to do is just keep him in the team.
Yeah. Keep him fired and don't rest him
Brighton.
Out.
He's going to score a few against Brighton, hopefully, and then he's going into City with, if he gets 2 against Brighton, 4 goals in his last 2 games, he is in the mood then against City, which is what you want.
Yeah.
Or maybe don't play Shaq and save him for City and play the Ox in the 10, give him a bit of confidence.
Maybe, yeah.
Because he just hasn't looked. I know he's coming back from a bad injury, but he just hasn't looked the same, has he, at all? The Ox.
No, I mean, that formation worked, that diamond really,
Did we play the
worked
diamond against
West Ham.
Spurs? We didn't. Or was it 4-3-3? It was 4-3-3 because we played the front three.
43 Spurs, yeah. That diamond against West Ham really worked for me.
I do think something like that would be required against Brighton. They are good in midfield. That's probably the strongest area of the team. They play a 4-3-3. Brighton, like I said, they're very, very, very similar to Liverpool, the way they set up. I mean, nowhere near as good, but they play a similar style of play, pressing off the ball and stuff. And I think that's why Potter brought Lallana into, because he was the first one who bought into Klopp's ethos, weren't he? So I think he's went there to like show them basically how good it can be.
Yeah.
And I honestly think that's why they've been bad this year, because they're learning a new system. But if they tick, like we've seen them tick against Tottenham, they're a good team. They're a really good team, and I don't think we should underestimate them.
Yeah, they're one of them teams. If they survive this year, they'll be one to watch next year. If they keep that manager. Don't get me wrong. If they hang on by the skin of the teeth and then the Brighton board have a brain fart and decide to get rid of the manager, I think they've had it. But if they keep him,
I think Potter's
do well.
Key. Yeah, I think I don't even think they'd sack him if he went down. Brighton aren't one of them who chop and change managers that I can think of. I think they do tend to keep hold of managers. They're not like Watford or anything like that. They do tend to keep managers. But he's a good manager. I like him. If they went down, I'd like him to get a job in the Premier League. I like the style of football. I just like him as a manager. Really, I think he's a good manager. Like Nuno Espirito, I think he'll probably go at the end of the season. Because Wolves haven't been that good this year, but then again they're in a transition page because they just went and bought like Semedo and stuff.
The whole Portugal team.
Yeah, but I think if you got rid of Nuno, Wolves collapse because everyone's went there for him. So it's interesting.
I think both boards need to understand there, don't they?
Yeah, I do think
stick with it.
The Premier League's going to be interesting in the next few years. In a sense of there's so many clubs with so many good players and so many good managers that anyone could win it. Do you know what? It wouldn't shock me if one year Wolves won the Premier League if they kept Nuno and keep improving on that team. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest, to be honest.
I mean, they're not a million miles off, are they?
No, not really.
Quality-wise, the squad they've got, if they can keep hold of that
if they just keep adding to it, like I honestly wouldn't rule out towards the end of his career Ronnie going there. You know, if they've got Nuno and they've got a whole Portugal team, he could go. He could do like go and playing with those national teams players. He could. Like people would laugh at that comment, but if at the end of his career, if he wants to just go and play every other week, do you know what I mean? Like if he's past it, he's not going to look as past. Ronnie's all about his ego. If he goes into like say United in 3-4 years, and he's fit, he's past it. He's going to look past it. If he goes to someone like Wolves, he's not going to look past it, is he?
Do you know what I mean?
I'm thinking of playing FIFA here.
He's playing in and amongst world-class players week in, week out. Then every couple of months he goes and plays with a load of half-wits at Portugal. Scores a couple of goals, goes back home. He's not going to want to do that week in, week out and play with all these players who aren't as good as him every week.
True, but I don't know. He loves Portugal though.
Get off FIFA.
I'm Bristol on FIFA. They just got the Prem. But yeah, nice one as always, Ste.
Nice.
Hopefully one of us are right and it's another win. I can't be bothered seeing the pool drop points again. I don't think we will. I think we should dominate. So yeah, up the Reds 6-0. Come on.
Take it easy.
Take it easy.